Hello, my name is Matt Dietz, and this is the final installment of my screencast, Module 7, where we bring it all together. My SMART goal was to improve student achievement in a 3D design class. Specifically, my goal was to increase by 10% or earn an A in the class. My biggest takeaway from this section in the class was to maximize the impact of blended learning, start by identifying the problem to solve or the goal to achieve. This is the organization's rallying cry, stated in a smart way, specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and time-related. I had never been exposed to SMART goals before, so I thought that was very helpful. The blended learning option that I chose was the flex model. It is my core problem, but it's still possible to use that according to Horn and Staker. It is a functional team because I'm the only one that teaches this. It'll be specific to my course, although I'm sure other teachers are looking to improve their student achievement as well. The biggest thing with the flex model, or one of the biggest things, is that the student gets to control the pace of their learning. I really thought that was a valuable piece. I will be taking a facilitator role, providing face-to-face tutoring, guidance, and enrichment to supplement online lessons, which is the flex model. Current classroom design will need some slight modifications, but is very close already, and our school is one-to-one, and the course is delivered in a computer lab. So there is plenty of technology that exists. I addressed the classroom culture specifically. One thing that I thought was very important was Horn and Staker shared, write it down and promote your culture. And that will be found in my posters. As I move forward in the presentation, you will get to see some of that. But students in this flex model will help determine what is the best way for them to be successful. There will be some requirements where there will be one-on-one meetings or small group meetings with me, but they still will get some flexibility in using the modality that works best for them. Again, just clear classroom procedures that are defined, visible, reviewed, and followed all the time will provide for a successful experience for my students. As far as the classroom layout and the blended tools that I'll be using, Horn and Staker in Chapter 7 shared many blended programs are rearranging their furniture and physical space in a more open, modular way to align with the principles of student agency, flexibility, and choice that are at the core of their new learning models. We went through and designed what our ideal classroom would be. Mine is not this at the moment, and will look somewhat different from what I shared as my ideal classroom, but I think I'm close enough that I can use the necessary elements from my ideal classroom in my current classroom. As far as some tools that are available to me, YouTube and the program that I use, Blender, both provide some outstanding tutorials that are accessible. A piece of it that does not come with either of those is certainly the grading piece and the assessment that will still be falling on me. So I'd still be looking for something a little more beneficial than those two. Some design considerations, and again, I just pulled this out of the text. In Chapter 6, they shared teacher quality significantly impacts student outcomes. Students cannot afford a failed experiment with teacher integration. Getting the design right for teachers may be the single most important determinant of whether the rise of blended learning will net out as a win overall. So there's a lot of responsibility falling on me as far as what this new style or this new format will look like. Additionally, the key is to design with empathy. The jobs to be done theory, which I really liked, is a tool to help design from that vantage point. The first level in the architecture of a job is simply identifying the job to be done. Generally speaking, the two jobs that are the highest priority for most students are to feel successful and make progress and have fun with friends. Education itself is not the job. Rather, it's the option that students can hire to get their jobs done. And I really felt that spoke to me as far as what I want to keep, not only in this 3D design class that I'm addressing, but across all of my courses. There were two examples of my posters. What I liked the best there is just making sure that the students have or know what the expectations are. This is what they should be doing on this day. This is what they should be doing on the next day. Um, and what each of those stations or days should look like for them. And students, like adults, are creatures of habit and will benefit from that type of clarity. One question that I am still floating around is how to address that student who does not do the online work at home or chooses not to make use of the various tools available to them. Um, it may not revolve specifically around blended learning, but is always a question I have when I consider new methods of instruction. And this I had essentially from the beginning of the course, and um, I think there's an argument to be made that blended learning may not grab everybody, but it's providing a new opportunity or a new way um, without getting rid of what may have worked in the past, um, and incorporating something new that can really give students yet another option to be successful. So again, I'm sure it's not a silver bullet, but it certainly will behave or will provide new opportunities. Finally, my ahas as I walk away from the class or wrap up the class is I had no idea that blended learning could have been broken down into so many formats and different elements, and so that was I was pretty impressed with that, and especially the way the text broke it down for you to look at for your specific needs. And probably if I went back to the very beginning, I may address a different need when we came up with our SMART goals. I may have picked a different one just because I feel mine is so broad. But nonetheless, it was a neat experience. Um, I also will be looking at some of how my courses are currently delivered, specifically my computer-based. How can I provide a better experience to students who do not seek or need additional assistance and enrich the group further that learns best using online resources? Essentially, what I'm looking at is what other elements, the technological end of the blended learning, what other elements for what different classes I teach, 7 or 8 different courses. Can I incorporate and specifically what resources already exist, not necessarily creating new resources on my own, but what already exists that I can utilize. Last but not least, one thing too that stuck with me, I I had the opportunity to spend some time in Uganda. Currently, my wife and daughter are in Uganda, and she is a teacher, and she's with another group of teachers, and they're doing some delivery to students there, some teaching um, during the summer. And what I keep running through my head is you can go there, and there are people living in mud huts, but there are cell phone towers every few miles. So technology is integrating itself even into a country where the living standard is quite different than what we experience here. Uh, but as in 10 years, what will it look like? Will students who are again who are living in mud huts have access to technology that really are going to open their worlds wide open as far as what education they can receive, and that obviously with the personal connection has been bouncing around in my head how this may look someday in those communities that I visited or that my wife is there now. Um, that's it. Thank you very much.